We are now ready for the session with Marius Jablonskis. He brings over 20 years of expertise in driving digital transformation across architecture, engineering, construction, and operations. He specializes in data integration, concept development and implementation, and corporate strategy. His superpower, you see how tall he is? Superpower is to align innovative technologies with business needs to create real value through sustainable solutions. Marius is known for his ability to turn complexity into clarity. We need that in a rapidly evolving world. Marius, please take the stage.
Thank you. So, great introduction. I'll jump straight to the topics. Digitalization in our industry. Every one of us in the industry, I believe, has high digital ambitions and has worked for quite a while strategically with those things. Norconsult is not the exception. We had digitalization in our strategy, one of the main pillars for many years. And what we're communicating out again is that our aim is to be top 3 consulting firms in the Nordics, leveraging both AI and digital capabilities. So there's more to that. And again, we've been doing that for years. We have made, pioneered, different solutions, connected data bidirectionally, digital twins, models to construction sites. We do the same as well with AI when it comes to, it's not something we're starting to do, but of course, as everyone else, we have internal chats, tender documentation flies through AIs. We have different aspects where we use it, for example, interpreting measurements for geotechnical surveys, basically meaning where we have shortage in talent available in the market. We can employ AI to automate processes, optimize infrastructure, behavior analysis, even in different research and development projects, as well as generative AI in architecture. And all of those things, in the end of the day, they yield value. We manage to cut out unnecessary, for example, drawing production. We can save consultancy time. Number of issues gets reduced. We deliver better with parametric scripts. And even CO2 gets impacted with the technologies we implement. And that gets noticed, you get rewards and etc., and you feel that we're doing really great. Now we're really pushing the industry. But when we look at it, the transformation that was promised. So, we implemented cloud, adopted AI, like we're ticking all of the boxes. We have automated things in our workflows, which gives us faster deliveries. So the promise is that, we work smarter, more streamlined. But the question is, have we really transformed, or we're just applying this to old business models? So let's try to delve into this. I never thought I'll be using that chart again. That's from my childhood, I can say. But again, what happened back there was a really great sort of change, promise, right? Especially, for example, somebody's using global clicker again, I guess. So let's agree to disagree then. Great, yeah. So back to the chart. The promise was that, again, not only geometry, we can now start looking at the different things. The data has been connected to the models, and then we can do things earlier in the early design stages, meaning that we can impact designs in a way better mode. But what happened in reality for many architects was that, okay, so you learn new technology, you implement new technology, you go out into the market, saying now we'll be doing more. But the price model was lagging a little bit behind, because suddenly you needed to do more, but you get paid as every other competitors out in the market were getting paid for the same services, but they were doing things later, not earlier. So those kind of things you need to reflect, because in the end, if you do just a change, apply new technology to the old business models, sometimes you're not really winning, sometimes you're just creating more competition for yourself, and even though you produce better results. So again, the expectations keep on rising. There is more things we need to answer. Sustainability demands this and that, and etc. And our answers to those is typically, okay, let's add more tools, let's add more platforms, because we cannot do that on our own manually. So it's quite common, I would say, that for many companies now you run hundreds of different software, APIs, different platforms, and counting. It's very easy to add the technology, but it's very difficult to consolidate because there's always some users that will say, no, 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 we're really using it. And the change there as well happened over several last years is that many software providers shifted their focus from selling the software into way of leasing it to us, so that you're paying it, for every technology that doesn't get used, you're still paying yearly. So again, more tools doesn't necessarily mean that they provide more value. And again, if you look at the business model paradox, then technology increases speed, business models reward still time spent for the project. So we're basically selling hours, and our margins remain under pressure, despite that we're delivering faster in those projects. So again, this is something that needs to be addressed, and I still meet projects every now and then where you have demands listed very high, but then when you see to the part which is, say, tildelingskriterier or ranking 100% timerater. So price is still kind of an important thing for many cases. So when you get those kind of contracts, my knowledge is, well, you pay with bananas, you get monkeys then. So the promise of AI, let's jump to this. What is changing now with AI? We have lots of examples where it's applicable, for example, in an architectural field where you can go from sketch to the visualization relatively fast. That's quite great, but it's even better that you can iterate, and now you can engage customers without going into actual modeling phases. You don't need to do that loads of work. That was the whole diagram in the beginning. You can engage the customers and discuss, okay, do you want more straight design, more curved things? Which direction are we going? So then you get aligned a little bit. And then basically that changes the whole workflow from where traditionally we needed to sketch, we needed to model, those models needed to be rendered, we needed to iterate the models and re-render, and then we were able to sort of start detailing. So now potentially we're flipping the charts where we can actually create sketches and visualizations and iterate those. And I think the next frontier will be getting models out of those visualizations. And this is really starting to shift the way how we work. So it's not only technology applied to the old processes, but the processes are starting to change. And again, let's go for the pace. What's different now? Why we're talking about it? The technologies we had quite a good time with BIM, I would say. We used good 10 years walking around in different conferences, piloting those technologies in different projects. So we had a good time. With the new type of technology, it gets consumed and spread into the market way faster than it was before. So, right, if Netflix took 3.5 years, ChatGPT took 5 days to gain the same amount of users. So that means that we need to be even more flexible. We need to be even more adjusted to change. But again, with this change in technology, what again happens in our ecosystems at our companies is that if that was the case a good 10 years ago, now it looks more like this. And that's just sort of the technology that's out there. If you really look at what we do in projects, sometimes, quite often, again, you need to develop additional things that supports your own workflows, or for example, customer-specific needs. So then we do development both in project for project purposes and as well development that is a little bit more scalable, that is repetitive along all of the market areas. And here again, I want to jump into a little bit of my background. I will not go into deep into this theory, but basically the law of diminishing, results. Let's put it that way. To calculate something difficult like this plane wing, we don't have a formula that gives you answer, for example, how much it will deflect or what stresses will be. But if you simplify that with finite element method, breaking it down to the pieces that you can calculate, think about it as an area. If I would want to calculate the area of that shape, I don't know the formula, but I know the formula for triangle. The more denser you go, the more accurate results gets. You never get straight to reality, it's still some approximation, but you get pretty close. But the thing is that the last 5% takes 10 times of effort. So again, how deep will you be going with this? And I see that we kind of like go with this, how to say, with this parallel similar to digitalization. We do automate and digitize our processes. We streamline all of the things, but there is so much things to do that as soon as you have this 3 minute, you're not sitting there thinking, oh, I automated. Then you find something else you will go into, something deeper you will delve into. And in many cases, I see that again, here we have something to learn from maybe startups. In some cases, like again, we go into this absolute precision mode as engineers. We need to make sure that things are done and etc. And then I remember one interaction with startups discussing on the level of like, okay, but why are you actually like not calculating probability to like P90? Why is it P50 in the tools? And they look at us and, well, none of our customers ask for P90. They ask for P50. Like, but P90 is better, right? Yeah. But so knowing where we actually stop, what is the defined range, and when we stop, how to say, adding additional efforts is important. And future is not billable. I believe so. I think the market is changing to the part where we'll have to move away. I don't see other way. We'll have to move away from this let's sell hours, especially because that doesn't sort of work together well with technology. Technology adds costs. That is us who's getting that additional, how to say, cost, but we're not really moving or offsetting this cost further to the customers. So we need to really rethink the way how we work, and then again, especially that embracing AI and digital collaboration for the new business models demands new way to define the success. Yes, so let's rethink the contracts, incentives, but again, culture is an important thing. And we see that shift in a culture as well. More people are talking more openly about it. More people are saying that, we're actually not that afraid to even lose the billability for a short period of time here. We need to do that change, and we need to go for the disruption. In Norconsult, again, we're along the path. We're doing different things, and the way how we see it, what we can achieve with digital tools and technology, again, more effectiveness, increased productivity, quality, and as well enable new offerings. In this particular case, on the side is just an example showcasing a research project where we're basically using AI, synthetic data sets, CFD calculations, and you name it. We're able to sort of track particle movement in operation rooms, evaluating different ventilation scenarios to be able to prevent infections, post-operative infections, understanding how the particles gets away from the open wounds. So the new strategy in Norconsult focuses more on leveraging technology to create value. That is clear and communicated. So strengthening the market awareness with focus on market trends. This is one of those things we're looking at. Enhance competence development, integrate digital solutions, and accelerate growth through the project. So I'll touch briefly on each of those. So if we talk about strengthening market awareness, again, there are many tools out there in the market, as we've seen previously. So how do we track those? Like, you need to really keep your tabs on the technology, understand which can contribute better. Maybe you need to rethink your old workflows. Maybe you need to retire some softwares. So for our case, again, partnership with Startup Labs, that is the largest startup incubator in Norway, was kind of a no-brainer. And again, there we see that we can learn and benefit from startup agility and integrate, how to say, different type of products into our portfolios as well. But then again, explore the technologies and really look into how can we work together different, explore the new different business models. Speed agility, again, being the largest Norwegian consultancy company, you cannot say that we're the most nimblest and can change so fast. But again, we constantly work on it. And then again, collaboration with startups gives us possibility to learn from these processes. And of course, market adaptability. One of those like very clear examples of value we get from startups. Do you know how many Norwegian AI startups there is? We know some. Some are for our industry, but it's never-ending list. This is something that startup labs can contribute with, right? And it keeps on going. So the list is quite large, and you can find so much technology, and sometimes you see like, okay, I've never seen that coming. This is something new. So having a possibility and a partner to, discuss and interact is really important. Competence development. Again, we have, as well as everyone else, I would guess, internal arenas where we share the competence about technologies and AIs and etc. But as well, we want to be the ones that are driving the industry together. So I think the big change here is that we don't see that it's only for us. We need to be best. We need to sort of be most competitive and outcompete everyone. We see this as something we need to do together in the industry. If we sit with the best data and most amount of the data for, I don't know, design, maybe there is a contractor that sits more with most data about how you built. Maybe there is a building owner that sits with their own data, how they use those buildings, how really good they are. So just collaborating together, we are able to gain value from it. And again, we engage in things like RIF, artificial intelligence groups, collaborations with Digital Norway, and etc. So something that doesn't just benefit us, but benefits others. If we go further, again, AI solutions as a service. This is one of the parts as well that we see. We need to not only integrate those in the projects, but we need to deliver that as a service, sometimes directly for the customers, sometimes supporting our customers to build their own AI capabilities. And strategy for implementation. And accelerating growth through project-driven innovation. Norconsult, in the end of the day, consists of 30,000 projects each year. So what we do in those projects is really kind of like our DNA, what we are. So it doesn't help to create just corporate strategy without having actual tentacles into the projects. Again, we need to look into the faster feedback loops. How can we gain those learnings from one project and reapply those on a different tasks? So for the future strategy, we aim to be again top 3. We see that a strong competitive position within the largest data sets and top expertise in Norway. A strategy to be agile and adopt AI advancements. So like we're looking into how can we be more agile and how can we collaborate better. Commercializing AI solutions to create new revenue streams, we need to start looking into those things as well, because if the hours disappear, what do we do next? We need to be, on the top of this game. So, if we want to redesign the game together, we really need to leverage technology with strategic insight to drive the change. So think about the consequences, not just adding one tool into the process and say we've done it. The important part here is to remember that sometimes for our customers it's not really transparent what we've done. And very often in our companies we're willing to automate those processes that creates most pain for us. So moving files, moving this, automating, we don't want to do that. But in the end of the day, customer maybe doesn't even see that you've invested time and etc. into those things. So we need to reflect. Measure rewards instead of focus on hours. That's an important part. Redesign business models to share both risk, value across the stakeholders. Again, all stakeholders, technology suppliers as well. You know, it's like AI, like, oh, it hallucinates. Like, okay, is that like good enough? Can we do something about it? Who bears responsibility? Because in the end of a day, we deal with risk, so everyone needs to take their portion of the risks. And most importantly, I would say we need to engage in building open and collaborative culture in our industry. And I see that industry is getting more and more mature, where we really can discuss those topics openly with everyone together. And I believe that drives the change in our industry. So only by taking those steps together, we can truly transform the industry. That is my take on it. Thank you.
Marius, we have time for a question. I have a question for you.
Shoot.
You have no idea what I'm going to ask you. Are you prepared?
Is there any way I can say yes to that?
Only if you had told me the question in advance, which you didn't.
I didn't.
No. Okay, so here it
Well,
comes.
as a kickboxer, I'll step back
No, I promise.
just to be sure. Yeah?
I promise.
Okay.
We're not doing in salary negotiations, so we're safe.
Okay.
So you say only then can we transform industry together. Okay, I can buy that argument. But what do leaders need to know and understand to be able to do that moving forward?
I think one of those things, again, that leaders do understand is that the business models we had from before, that will not gonna last. In the same moment, of course, it is your responsibility as a leader to defend your own existing business models. But then investing part of a time trying to cannibalize your own business, that's not a stupid idea.
That takes a bit of courage.
That takes a bit of courage. But then going on that strategically and really looking into those advancements and having agile ecosystem where you can scale what you learn back into your organization, I think that will be important. So the importance gets with flexibility. So the flexible companies, I think, will benefit most compared to those that will have a most rigid structure.
So then I heard courage, collaboration, and flexibility.
Correct?
Oh, well done to me. I've paid attention.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Marius. We are going to see you back on stage in a little while.
Cool.
So don't go very far.
No?
Give him a big round of applause.
Okay.